Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I am not here with Geeky Sparkles in this video. Got a couple videos she's not going to be sitting in today, so I'm very sorry about that, but she will be back. She's just out and about doing holiday stuff. So we're going to talk about Doctor Who. This used to be my favorite show on television for years. We've talked about it before. The family used to watch it for years, and that included the original run by Russell T Davies. And I was actually pretty excited when it was announced that Russell T Davies was coming back after a very dismal run by Chris Chibnall with Jodie Whittaker's Doctor, and of course the Timeless Children retcon where it's shown the Doctor started out as a little girl that was repeatedly murdered so the Time Lords could steal her regeneration powers. Freaking stupid. Just flies in the face of everything that's been established, but whatever. I thought maybe Russell T Davies would come back and fix things, and I do not believe that is going to be the case now. Although the budget's nice, looks like they actually spent some money on this show again, and it's nice to have Murray Gold back. But yeah, everything has been weirdly political, just like the last several years of Doctor Who. I thought maybe Davies would kind of tamp it down a little bit. He's always gotten his opinions in there and his beliefs and worldviews into Doctor Who before, even the original run, but it wasn't as ham-fisted and in your face as it is lately. That the very first special, of course, where the Doctor is lectured on pronouns and the Doctor is dragged, David Tennant's Doctor in particular is dragged by Donna Noble and her adopted trans daughter, for basically being male and not getting it, because if he was still a woman, he would totally get it. But because he's a stupid, stinky man, he doesn't get it anymore. And then, of course, in the latest special, it is apparently revealed that the Doctor, David Tennant's Doctor, is gay. He is gay. Of course he is. Of course he is. So, of course, the media is like, oh, this is fantastic. It's all of our fan fiction coming true all at once. Ignoring the fact that particular Doctor had a fling with Rose Tyler and kind of sort of with River Song. We're just gonna forget all that. We're gonna forget. Okay, whatever. I guess this is the 14th Doctor and not the 10th Doctor after all. But audiences aren't really having it. Critics love it. The audiences do not. And the ratings are suffering for it already. We're already back down into Jodie Whittaker levels of viewership. And that's not good, because Russell T Davies, David Tennant, Catherine Tate, Murray Gold, that should have been a home run. That should have been like, this is how you fix Doctor Who. You just kind of hit the reset button on it, bring back some of the most popular people associated with the show, and just kind of forget about the last couple of years of Chibnall, and that is not what is going on. It is more of the same, and I think once David Tennant is gone, I think that's the only reason anybody's watching right now. Once he's gone and we've got the new Doctor, I don't think people are going to watch. I think we're going to go right back to where we were with Jodie Whittaker, especially since it's obvious that they're going to triple down on the quote-unquote message, and I'm not even angry, I'm done being angry. I basically expect everything that I've grown up with, everything that I've loved, to get dragged. I think I'm more disappointed because I thought Russell T Davies would come in and save the day. And maybe that was a naivete. Maybe I stupidly thought that he was the same person he was in 2008, and he is not. So let's talk about this before we get into it any further. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. Where to start? Well, let's start with the audience score. 42% for these 60th anniversary specials. That's not good. Again, this should have been a home run. The most popular modern Doctor with his most popular companion and Russell T Davies, this should have absolutely been a home run, and it is not. People are pissed. And of course, the media is doing damage control, because of course they are. We've got this article from Digital Spy. Doctor Who's Doctor has always been queer, so what's the problem? Well, yes and no. The only time that the doctor became queer or queer adjacent, I guess, is when he switched genders, became a woman. But now they're going to retcon that and be like, oh no, he's always been a woman. He started out as a little girl on Gallifrey, So I guess I shouldn't be surprised, because if the doctor can switch genders, you're going to have the doctor's sexuality all over the place. Now, the thing is that until recently, the doctor really didn't have any explicit sexuality, or at least you didn't see it on screen. The doctor had a granddaughter, we think. Susan Foreman was a biological granddaughter. I don't know if she was or not. Did they ever explain that? I don't know if Susan Foreman actually was his biological granddaughter or what. But yeah, we had that whole relationship with Rose Tyler. We had that whole relationship and marriage with River Song. Then along came Chris Chibnall with Jodie Whittaker's doctor, and that tossed a hand grenade into the canon, into the doctor's personality and all of it. And look, I don't really fault Jodie Whittaker that much. I don't like her doctor. I think she was capable of better. I think she was given garbage to work with. But, Chibnall's retcon is completely unforgivable. And the only reason that Russell T Davies isn't undoing it, as I understand it, is they're friends. You don't want to just erase your friend's stuff. And I don't know, guys. I mean, that was kind of a deal breaker for me. I'm like, I don't care if they bring David Tennant back. If they don't retcon that retcon out of existence, I'm totally out, because it breaks the show. It's stupid. It was a really stupid decision. Probably the least qualified people to write the definitive origin of the Doctor was like a bunch of soap writers or something. I don't know. Digital Spy. Doctor Who's Doctor has always been queer, so what's the problem? It was never too far from the surface, mate. So here we go. This article sounds like it was written in 2017, by the way. They're still writing articles like this. I'm assuming it's a person, not AI. It's really hard to tell. Ahead of Wild Blue Yonder, a Doctor Who special episode that the BBC seemed particularly keen to keep under wraps. I wonder why. Russell T Davies teased what was coming. It's set far away from Earth. It's a bit weird. It's scary. It's freaky. It pushes the show into areas it's never quite been into before. Pushes the Doctor into areas he's never quite been into before. Upon seeing the episode, it's obvious that Doctor Who's returning showrunner was referring here to the literal edge of the universe, where the Doctor and Donna end up fighting for their lives. But to so-called fans who balk at anything queer, the weird, scary, freaky bit happened long before those monstrous doppelgangers showed up. After our faves met an extremely sexy version of Isaac Newton, played by Nathaniel Curtis, race-swapped Isaac Newton, but whatever. Donna later felt compelled to comment on said sexiness by asking, is it just me or was Isaac Newton hot? He was, wasn't he? Replied the Doctor. He was so hot. Good, we've established that Donna and the Doctor both have eyes. But then an odd thing happened. The Doctor seemed taken aback by these horny thoughts. This reads like Slash. We've established that Donna and the Doctor both have eyes, but then an odd thing happened. The Doctor seemed taken aback by these horny thoughts, saying, oh, is that who I am now? Well, it was never too far from the surface, mate, said Donna. And she's right. In fact, the Doctor's extremely obvious queerness wasn't just under the surface. It was very clearly visible, just like Newton's hotness, and it has been for quite some time. I'm giving you time to facepalm, right? His extremely obvious queerness. Of course, that didn't stop trolls from immediately logging into their anonymous accounts. I am not anonymous, by the way. I'm actually very easy to find. Anonymous accounts to share some forced outrage with all three of their followers. I don't know. We've actually done a couple of videos about this. And look, I'm not mad. I'm just indifferent. I'm like, of course. What else could they do to the Doctor? Oh, let's make the Doctor queer too. Of course they're going to. We've gotten a couple hundred thousand views on those videos. I think a lot of people are like, what the fuck? I'm just saying. A lot of people are like, what the fuck, when they turn the Doctor into a chick too. But I'm just saying. That's to be expected given the tedious backlash trolls tried to generate last week. Tedious backlash. Are they linking to our article? No, I guess not. Last week with Starby's trans storyline and exploration of gender. It wasn't even that some people were irritated by the trans storyline. I think more people were irritated by the fact that the Doctor, who has been traveling space and time for a very, very, very long time, it keeps changing. It used to be hundreds of years, and it was thousands of years, now it's billions of years, whatever. The Doctor has been around for a very long time. The Doctor would not be surprised at pronoun usage, nor should the Doctor, who has saved the universe countless times, be lectured by Donna fucking Noble, and talked down to by her trans daughter that just showed up. You know what I'm saying? That's what pissed people off. It's like, this is the Doctor. Like Matt Smith's Doctor, and even Capaldi's to some degree, were almost godlike entities, characters. And but of course, we gotta bring back one of the most popular Doctors and dress him down, have him dressed down. The very first episode he returns in fully. We have to have him, dressed down because he's too dumb to understand pronouns. And of course he's a man now, and that's problematic. Why are the trans men not angry about this? Do you know what they basically said? They said that when you go from being a woman to a man, you get dumber. And you miss the obvious. That's what they're saying about you. That's not very progressive, is it? That's not very progressive. Oh, God. All right. It's literally been a week since the Doctor confirmed his gender-fluid, non-binary identity by describing himself as a man, woman, both, and neither. And far less time than that has passed for him within the show. The Doctor's Wife, written by Neil Gaiman, which was a good episode, I thought, was the first to establish that Time Lords canonically change genders. That actually was true. It was, I believe, the Corsair. Was it the Corsair? Where people were like, oh, wait a minute. Because he was like, oh, yeah, well, the Corsair was this guy. And then when he was really naughty when he was a girl, too. Hey, tee. And then, of course, we had Missy and stuff. And they talked about that. So this is why it doesn't make sense, dude. I'm telling you right now. Capaldi's Doctor implied he might have been a woman before in the episode World Enough in Time when he told Bill Potts that his civilization is billions of years beyond your petty human obsession with gender and its associated stereotypes. Then why is David Tennant's Doctor acting surprised? Why do they have to lecture him on pronoun usage? Why do they have to run him down from being a male? You know what I'm saying? And then there was a time the Doctor was a woman for the whole 3 seasons. Yes, but she still liked chicks. So I guess she was gay. I don't know. Gay adjacent. I don't know. You could argue the Doctor's fluid gender identity doesn't necessarily mean that he's into guys, which of course is valid. You'd expect an alien race billions of years beyond us would be a bit fluid with their sexuality too. Or they've evolved beyond sex and they just grow each other out of tubes or something. Wasn't the Doctor originally? I thought the storyline originally was that Time Lords weren't baked in the traditional biological sense, but they were loomed or something. It was like a DNA loom. That's what my understanding. That's what I thought the Doctor's origin was, is he was basically just a concoction of DNA, and that's how they cook up Time Lords, and that's where they come from because they're kind of beyond the whole gender thing. And that's why people were wondering if Susan Foreman was actually like a biological, descendant or whatever. I don't know. Anyway, and she just disappeared, right? Whatever happened to Susan? Ignoring, about the time the Doctor was into guys. Wait, what? Ignoring all that sexual tension with the Master. No, I always thought it was more of a brotherly relationship. They're basically bitter exes at this point. Remember when Jack Harkness kissed the Ninth Doctor? Yes, Jack Harkness kissed him. The Doc didn't seem to mind, especially if all the endless flirting between them was anything to go by. I never took it as, I don't know. My gaydar is broken. So wait, this is their supporting evidence here, right? Daleks Manhattan. The Doctor says to Martha Jones, Martha says, I'm glad to see you. The Doctor says, well, yeah, you can kiss me later. You too, Frank, if you want. Frank is Andrew Garfield. The first time I saw Andrew Garfield actually was in that episode of Doctor Who, but I think it was a joke. It was meant to be a joke. That doesn't mean the Doctor was queer. It doesn't mean he was hot for Frank. Doesn't mean he was hot for Jack Harkness. He considered Jack Harkness a friend, and Jack obviously thought the Doctor was pretty hot. On multiple occasions made comments about it, but that did not mean the Doctor was queer. Actually, classic Who, the Doctor wasn't really anything. The Doctor was the Doctor and was not romantically involved with anyone. Then again, it's not been so long since the Doctor actually fell for a member of the same sex. Yeah, the Yaz thing. But I figured it was the Doctor bringing his, hey, them, theirs, gender, sexuality, whatever, into a new incarnate, whatever. Just because Chibnall forgot the Doctor loved Yaz doesn't mean we should. It's all about shipping. Sure, some narrow-minded folks might argue this confirms even more the Doctor has only been into women. Yes, it does, actually. But in any case, it will soon be impossible for anyone to forget that the Doctor is inarguably queer, including the Doctor himself. Once Ncuti Gatwa brings his own dazzling, irrefutable queerness to the role. Let those narrow-minded fans cry about this weird, scary, freaky, so-called change all they want. Nobody's crying about David Opie. Nobody's really crying about it. People are just tuning out. They're done. They're done. People are tuning out. And after David Tennant leaves, it's going to drop off a cliff. I mean, it's fine. Yeah, I'm to the point now where I'm like, everybody wants to turn classic IP, whether it's Doctor Who or comic books or the X-Men especially, and now Superman too. They're having drag shows in Smallville. Did you know that they're having drag shows in Smallville, USA, which is like in the middle of nowhere in the Midwest? They're apparently doing drag shows there. Yeah. Whatever. Just my feeling on this is this is no longer for me. This is becoming Wattpad. Wattpad is becoming Wattpad. I can't even. I mean, literally, it's just when everything is fan fiction. When everything is fan fiction, it doesn't matter anymore. There is no canon. There is no purpose. There is no whatever. Basically, shippers have gotten a hold of all these franchises, and I include Russell T Davies. I think he's just kind of trying to rankle as many people as he possibly can, just to see what he can get away with, and that's fine. But don't be surprised when people don't watch. Same with comic books. Don't be surprised when people don't buy Superman, where in Action Comics, Jonathan Kent is in the tub sexting his boyfriend. In a Superman comic, in Action Comics, putting the action in action, where they've got drag shows in Smallville. No, people aren't buying it. I'm sorry. And I'm not saying you can't have stories about drag shows. And I'm not saying you can't have queer characters. And I'm not saying superheroes can't sex their significant others or whatever. You know what I'm saying? People have certain expectations for certain franchises. And it is what it is. And people are going to leave and they're going to tune out. And when the new Doctor comes, unless he's just the best thing ever, which, he might be okay. But I think at this point, a lot of people are tuning out. And to me, I think at this point, it's better to remember Doctor Who up through Capaldi. And that's it. We had a good run, And like I said, I'm not even angry. I don't even care anymore. If the shippers want these franchises, they can fucking have them. If the studios want to spend millions and millions and millions of dollars to create multi-million-dollar Wattpad stories, let them do it. Doesn't mean I have to watch it. Doesn't mean I have to like it. I really am not going to go on. I'm not going on a tirade. I'm just like, of course the media is defending it. And we'll see how this plays out, because I don't think it's going to go very well. I don't think it's going to go very well for them. So that's it. Any hope I had for Doctor Who returning to its former glory, it's over. It's over. And you move on, and that's it. I used to get angry, and I don't get angry anymore because there's no point. It's like they're going to do what they're going to do. And some of these studios, sometimes they take a hint. Sometimes they course correct. Sometimes they're like, you know what? We need to win back as many fans of this franchise as we possibly can. Sometimes they just Disney themselves and they just double, triple, quadruple down on it and, quadruple down on alienating audiences and telling their longtime fans to go get bent, whether it's a stupid retcon or, heavy-handed politics or whatever it is. And that's fine. You can do what you want to do. But I'm going to do what I want to do, and it's not watch your show. And I think a lot of other people are going to choose to do the same thing. And we'll just move on to something else. There's a lot of other stuff out there, a lot of really good stuff that maybe hasn't gotten a chance because all these big franchises, Star Wars and Marvel and Doctor Who, et cetera, they've all kind of sucked up all the oxygen. But now that fans are looking for something else, I think maybe some of these other shows, these other series, these other books, TV shows, movies, whatever, video games, they're looking pretty good. And there's a lot out there. There's a lot out there. So you'll find something for you. If it's not from a tent pole, you'll find something else. I'm going to wrap this up. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We'll talk later.